Hello there. I consider myself a wildlife connoisseur. I own some of the most exotic pets east of Mississippi. I'm talking about a dog and a cat. And also Adam's mom. I like to think that I actually know a decent bit about animals. I watched a lot of Nat Geo growing up, and still to this day, we react to a ton of animal videos. But apparently, today, we're gonna be learning about a bunch of animal facts that you didn't know. Of course, I knew them though.
Did you know that slugs and snails are the same thing? Slugs are the snails that have lost their shells during evolution, so these creatures are hermaphrodite, just like slugs, and most of them are too. There are over 60,000 species of snails, and they are found everywhere on Earth, even in Antarctica.
Wait a minute. No, this is actually blowing my mind. I thought that slugs were like poisonous and snails were not. So slugs are snails with no shells. But doesn't that make them a different creature then?
Just like the PFAS. Snails can walk on the blade or sharp knife's edge without taking damage. And there are some snails that can walk on water too.
Jesus Christ.
Some snails, like cone snails, are venomous and are cannibals. They shoot harpoon-like tooth to kill their prey or kill other cone snails. Smallest snail can fit in the hole of a needle, whereas the biggest are almost a meter-long, 40-pound giants.
Hold on. He is like rapid-firing these facts. I thought it was gonna be like 5 facts that we dissect each and every one, but it's like fact you didn't know, fact you didn't know, fact you didn't know. Anyone in the comments who tells me that they knew that a 40-pound snail existed, you're lying. I don't believe you. There's no way.
Most of the snails have over 14,000 teeth. And the weird thing is they have teeth in their tongue. This guy, the limpet, has just around 1,900 teeth, but it's made from the hardest material ever known in biology. You may have heard spider silk is stronger than steel, but the teeth of limpets are stronger than titanium.
Okay, I am starting to realize that snails might just be the coolest creature in the world. You know, they always get so much slack for being slow and slimy and grimy and gross, but they're actually freaking awesome. This is really cool.
If cats had those teeth, they would be the most dangerous animals on the planet. Snails are heavy sleepers and can sleep straight for 3 years. Their life is just around 9 years, and they sleep 1/3 of their life. Then again, who are we to judge? We do the same thing.
Wait, but they sleep for 1/3 of their life all at once. They only sleep one time. That'd be like if we only slept one time and we got all of our sleep out in one go. You would start as like a 10-year-old kid probably and wake up in your 40s. What an insane way to fall asleep.
This is a polar bear, and I'm not joking. Just the hairs are removed.
Okay, I didn't know that.
The skin of a polar bear
did know
is
that.
dark, just like a brown bear, but it's covered in white fur. Or is it? Actually, the hairs of a polar bear are translucent, colorless, and are hollow.
I did know that too. That's 2 for 2. Apparently, I know a lot more about polar bears than I did about snails.
Like a straw. The air inside the hairs scatter light in such a way that we see it white, just like how snow looks white. I bet most of you didn't know that snow is a colorless thing. This is a real picture of a snowflake.
Okay.
Polar bears are marine
Didn't know that,
mammals,
but that's not about
like
animals.
whales and seals. They spend more than half their life in water. They even have webbed feet and can swim non-stop for hundreds of miles, up to 9 days. Polar bears eat seals. Since seals have a high content of vitamin A, the liver of the polar bear contains so much vitamin A that it can kill 52 people.
What does that mean? Their liver can kill 52 people? What does that mean? Or they have enough vitamin A in their liver that if you disperse that vitamin A amongst 52 people, they would all die. Okay, that's pretty crazy. That's crazy.
Sometimes people get confused if polar bears live in the Arctic or Antarctic region. Just remember this. The word Arctic means bear, and Antarctic means no bear.
Wait, what? Hey Siri, what does Arctic mean?
As an adjective, Arctic means relating to the regions around the North Pole. Do you want to hear the next one?
Yeah, tell me the next one too.
Arctic is an informal term. As an adjective, it means of weather conditions, very cold. Want to hear one more?
I'm not seeing a single thing about bears. Hey Siri, does Arctic mean bear?
As an adjective, Arctic means relating to the regions around the North Pole.
Okay, this is why I don't talk to women.
Penguins live in that land, so naturally, it's impossible for a polar bear to meet a penguin. And let's not forget the mating part. There are several records of polar bear mating with grizzly
Sorry, all this mating talk, I'm pretty allergic to it. Holy cow. Start talking about this type of stuff, I get real weird. Ugh, my bad, my apologies, all right. Gosh.
The babies are called Pizzly or Grolar, depending on either the polar bear is male or female. Talking about penguins, how long can you stay like this, in a squat position? A few seconds? Or maybe a couple of minutes? This is a penguin skeleton, and yes, this is how they stand their entire life. Well,
What?
who am I to judge when you are judged by nature itself? Penguins drink salty seawater and eat salty seafood, like fish and shrimps, so they have a gland above their eyes that separates salt from water and throws it away from the beak.
Wait, we need that. That's what we need on planet Earth to be able to like take ocean water and purify it so that we can drink it, make it fresh water. But that's what penguins do. Why can we not just like figure out how it works with penguins and then we do that too, but with machinery? Surely we can do that. That is a superpower. I say it all the time, but animals literally have superpowers. That is one of them. It can drink any water and it purifies it for them. That's amazing.
Jumpers. Penguins like emperor penguin and Adelie penguins can jump around 10 feet directly from water.
What? 10 feet?
That's the height of
That's a whole basketball net. That's all they jump. They jump out of water over a basketball net. That's incredible. That is incredible.
And story building. Also, the chicks of emperor penguins can jump into water 50 feet below. Talking about kids, if a mother penguin has just lost her chick, she kidnaps others' chick when parents are distracted and takes it with her. After a week, she loses interest, leaves the chick, and walks away.
There's no
In most
way.
cases,
There's no
the
way.
chick dies.
There's no way.
Some emperor penguins just leave the area and waddle towards the mountains of Antarctica.
Someone's got to put cameras on these guys and make a whole like Love Island Penguin Edition season. I would absolutely tune in.
And back, they will again go towards it. Nobody knows where they go or why they do that. Maybe they were rejected by all the females
Aw.
and they want to die in peace.
Aw.
Who knows? And they are poopers. They poop every 20 minutes or so. Talking about pooping, these guys almost never poop and use all the food they eat as energy. Kinda like Kim Jong-un. This happens when God forgets to give you a mouth and attaches a straw longer than your body. They are such a weird creatures that they smell with the antenna and taste with their feet.
Does anyone ever try to like put themselves in animal shoes? Like what would it feel like to be a moth? Like what does it feel like to like have wings and a giant nose that you slurp from and antenna that smell? What does that feel like? Because we only know what we are. I am really curious. Like if I could be a moth for like 5 seconds, I would do it with a guaranteed that I get to be me right after too. But I do want to know what it feels like to be a moth.
There are more than 17,000 species of butterflies, and they come in every configuration.
Or a butterfly.
Their size ranges from tiny 2-centimeter puny flies to almost a foot-long mammoths. Some species like pipevine and monarch are poisonous. Monarch butterflies even migrate to a 3,000-mile-long journey. Butterflies drink sap and flower nectar, but sometimes they will drink muddy water, poop, sweat, urine, and even blood.
Ain't no way they're eating poop, bro. I used to have respect for butterflies. I've lost a lot of respect.
It's for the nutrients and salts they don't get from flowers. So, yes, butterflies drinking blood is a real thing.
I mean, that makes sense.
Harvester butterflies are
What
kind of
poop?
carnivores.
Explain
They
the
suck
poop one to
poop of
me.
aphids. Aphids are sap-sucking insects, by the way, but the caterpillars completely eat those bugs. Talking about caterpillars, they have 4,000 muscles in their body, and we humans just have 629. You all know a caterpillar enters a cocoon and emerges out as a butterfly, but you may not know that after entering the cocoon, it first turns into liquid puddle and then starts the butterfly formation. But the interesting thing is, butterflies still have the memory from when they were caterpillars.
How do they know that? How have they done any tests to know that? There's no way. How would they ever, what scientists figured that one out? There's no way that they could prove that. The world is a crazy place, truly.
And we think we are the memory kings. What a shame. You all have seen crows, and it's among the most intelligent species on Earth. Crows know what it means to
didn't know
die,
that.
so they actually think before doing something, unlike us. They even attend the funeral of their lost relatives and
that's
friends,
sad.
and mourn for some time. They will even examine the dead, kind of like post-mortem, and try to figure out the cause of the death, so that they can avoid it next time.
Wow.
And if a crow kills any fellow member or a friend, it will be executed by the group. That's a death penalty for murder. That may be the reason why a group of crows is called murder. Crows are highly social creatures. Adult crows leave the group to start their own life. But they visit their parents once in a while to check on how they're
Aw.
doing. They even help their parents raise their eggs.
That's
And
nice.
crows are usually monogamous, meaning they have one partner for life. They are actually better than us when it comes to relations.
Wait, shout out to crows. I didn't know that they were such like upstanding creatures. Because they're, you know, we just learned about the poop eaters, and now we're on to like a nice family guy who mourns the dead, helps his parents. Like what a nice creature. Shout out to crows.
If you ever help or hurt a crow, it will return the favor. It will bring you shiny objects or its own feather as a token of gratitude, or dive
hurting
bomb
it?
you as
Oh.
token of revenge.
Yeah.
It will remember your face for 5 years, even if you are wearing a mask. And it
Wow.
can share your face info with other crow workers as well. So it is possible that you hurt one crow today, and its friend will hurt you after a few
That
days.
is amazing.
Researchers even believe they can share the person's info with the next generation too.
What? Bro, crows are actually awesome. We gotta put a camera on the crows. There's gotta be so much crow lore out there that we don't even know about. Next up, we got rabbits.
And they are very efficient eaters, meaning they convert food to body mass in a very efficient way. It's because they eat their own poop. Yup.
What are we doing? What is this video? Did you know this animal eats its poop? Did you know that animal eats their poop? Did you know that animal eats the poop of that guy's poop? Like, what are we doing?
All rabbits do that, and they do it every day. They have two kinds of poops. One is just poop, small round ones, but another is nutritional poop, called night poop. Since that poop has nutrition, they poop it directly in their mouth, kinda like this.
Who studied this? Who even, like, what weirdo, like, watched this happen and then analyzed it? I'm sorry, that's creepy, bro. And also, are we sure that's what they're doing? Are we 100% sure? Because I can think of a couple other things that these rabbits might be doing. Not to get all weird and all, but rabbits do repopulate insanely quickly. We all know this. So they're active. And I'm just like, are we sure that that's what he's doing? I mean, this is absurd. This might be the craziest video I've ever watched my whole entire life.
Mouth directly to anus. So most owners don't even see this
Oh my
poop.
god!
It may seem gross, but rabbits can't vomit. If they eat something poisonous by mistake, it can't be taken out. Rabbits' teeth never stop growing, and they need rough thing to grind their teeth.
Wait, why was that a point of contention here? Why did he pretty much excuse the fact that they eat their own poop because they can't vomit? He was like, yeah, oh yeah, they put their lips to their anus and poop into their own mouth and eat it, but that's okay because they don't vomit. No! That does not make that okay! That is insane! That's disgusting, that's foul, that's putrid! I don't care that they can't vomit, that has nothing to do with the other!
If they don't eat hay or grass for a long time, their teeth will go through their skull. So, don't feed them fruits or carrots as the main food. It's soft and dangerous for them. And this is misleading. Rabbits don't bark or meow. They communicate through jumping and thumping. Like, this may mean it's happy, and this may mean it's pissed off, or something like that. I don't know. I'm actually bad at Morse code. They have almost 360 degrees vision, but can't see in front of their nose.
Okay, so this thing's an idiot.
Rabbits have a super sense of smell, but they can smell through the mouth as well. If the nose is smell pro, then the mouth is smell pro max. Rabbits are fragile animals. If you scare a rabbit with sudden loud noise, it can instantly die of heart attack.
That's pretty funny.
And for mating, they are among the fastest breeders in the world.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking
and
about.
we'll talk about that in mating series. This is not an axolotl.
Thank God we're moving on. Thank God. That was the worst demotion of an animal that maybe have ever occurred. I've never liked an animal so much than 1 minute later disliked the same animal so much in my life. That was insane. Next up though, we have what appears to be not an axolotl.
Neither this nor this. Don't worry, even I was confused at this point, because when we see this shape, the feathery gills, long tail, and that baby face, we think it's an axolotl. Axolotls are salamanders, and they have over 700 species, so most of their babies look just like this. If all these look the same, why are only these guys the celebrities? Well, when they grow up, they change to these, but when axolotls grow up, they change to this. Yup, they never grow up and stay in their larval life forever, but many people don't know that in very rare cases, they actually change to adult salamanders. Axolotls are naturally found in only one place on Earth, near Mexico City, in Lake Xochimilco. They are super
Really?
regenerative. If you cut its limb, it grows back.
I actually did just learn about this, and on our Beck Bros channel, we're starting to do a lot of animal, like, type things. A little, like, not really science-y, but kind of science-y. And I was thinking about getting an axolotl, and I heard that they can regenerate limbs. So then I was like, okay, well, let's test it. That'd be an awesome video idea, like testing if that's true. But then it also, you know, is pretty immoral and inhumane and against, like, animal rights. It's pretty cruel, even though it can regenerate the arm. So I'm not going to do it, but I did think of that. Like, that'd be a pretty cool YouTube video. But I'm not going to do it. That's messed up. I have integrity. I'm a man of good morals and ethics, so I'm not going to do it.
The tail, brain, heart, lungs, and even the spinal cord grow back like nothing happened.
The spinal cord,
So,
wow.
They've been lab rats for over 150 years.
If this freak weirdo guy is doing it, why can't I? Like, I'm doing it in a way to educate thousands and thousands of people. Like, yeah, it might be cruel, but this dude's doing it to probably hundreds of axolotls time and time again just to test them.
Hopes that one day, humans too can regrow lost limbs. But so far, the only thing that's been growing is the scientist's beard. Axolotls are nature's Frankenstein. If you cut its leg and stitch it to slightly different place, it will actually fuse and function.
Whoa!
And sometimes, a new leg grows from the original place, making it 5-legged axolotl. So, scientists have been trying to create a full-blown chimeras, and I hope it doesn't turn like Hunter x Hunter.
That is pretty amazing.
They tried attaching legs to the back, take cousin's tail and attach it, fuse the siblings, and even tried to make 2-headed axolotls. In one case, a hole began forming in the neck to accept a second head, but the body healed too fast, and the extra head fell off.
All right, axolotls went from like here, actually they were already up here, to like way up here. Axolotls are really, really cool animals. That's amazing.
You may know that dogs are playful animals. And when a dog wags its tail, it's really happy. Well, that's a lie.
What? Sorry for yelling. No, that cannot be a lie, because if that's a lie, I will not believe anything anymore. Bro, my dog looks at me wagging his tail like crazy, and I always thought that meant like he's happy to see me. What does it actually mean then? Is he scared? I don't want to be scaring my dog.
A dog can wag its tail for many reasons. It can wag it when it's anxious, afraid, or even when it's angry. Yup, don't fall for the trap. Even a tail-wagging dog can bite you.
So he is talking about big wags only. That's actually messed up from dogs, I can't even lie.
We know that sugar is toxic to dogs, but what we don't know is that it's a lie. Too much sugar can be unhealthy for dogs, but it's not
For humans
toxic.
too.
But these foods can be lethal for dogs.
Okay, I do not encourage anybody to feed their dog chocolates, but growing up, my dog ate a lot of chocolate. We didn't feed it chocolate, it just like broke into our chocolate drawer and would eat chocolate all the time. It would even poop out the wrappers. It was insane. And like maybe it would get sick, but it never died. From that at least. Well, she's dead now. Rest in peace, Jojo. But she died of old age. So low-key, like I feel like they can eat this stuff, just not a lot of it. Humans are the same way. Like if we can't eat too much of this stuff in excess.
So don't feed these things to your dogs. People believe that dogs see black and white. That's a lie. They can see yellow and blue. But
Okay.
not being able to see green and
So
red
random.
is kind of like black and white though. The biggest lie about dogs is that they sweat through their tongues. Dogs do keep their tongues out, but it's to cool down their body. They actually sweat from their paws and nose.
No, that is a lie. I've been around dogs way too much. I've never felt a dog's paw be wet. Unless, of course, it was outside playing in the mud, but like, no way they sweat out of their paws. I felt their nose be wet before, sure. But it's because they don't sweat out of their skin, so they have to like breathe really heavy. That's how they cool themselves down. That's why they breathe like that.
Those nose can smell their owners from a distance of over 10 miles. Talking about smell, word around the town is that sharks can smell a drop of blood from miles away. Well, that's a lie. They can smell
That's
blood,
cap, I knew
but
that.
just within around 200 meters. And even that's a super slow process. If a fish bleeds 100 meters away, the smell may take several minutes to reach the shark's nose. People also believe that if you get cut underwater, sharks will follow your blood scent and attack you. That's a lie too. Sharks can identify if it's fish blood or others. Since they don't eat humans, they will just ignore that blood trail and move away. If you have heard that sharks don't get cancer.
This I didn't know until relatively recently because Mark Rober made a YouTube video testing this and put like I think a bunch of human blood in one spot near sharks, and like they didn't care about it at all. So like sharks don't even really like to eat humans. I think the only time sharks like attack humans is when they think that humans are something else.
If you have heard that sharks don't get cancer, you've heard a lie. There's some rumor that shark cartilage is used to treat cancer. So people believe they must be cancer-proof. There's no record of shark cartilage curing human cancer, and sharks do get cancer.
Oh,
but these
that's
naked
pretty
guys
sad.
don't get cancer. Naked mole rats are almost cancer-proof in their wild habitats. But some in captivity do get cancer though.
I'm pretty sure those things just are cancer. Like, what is the difference between this thing here and that thing there? Like, you can say this thing can't ever get cancer, but that's because it's 100% cancer already. That thing is hideous. It looks just like Adam.
That may be due to a weakened immune system because of captivity. There's also a belief that naked mole rats don't feel any pain.
Oh, God.
Well, that's a lie. You can casually say they don't feel any pain in a fun way or as a joke. But the truth is, their nervous system neglects burning pain from acids and chili peppers. Since they don't eat chili peppers, that's a useless immunity, I guess. But they do feel pain from cuts, wounds, or any other physical pain. Just think, if an animal species doesn't feel any pain, it's sure to go extinct in no time. This guy is a lion.
That's a fact.
They have a majestic-looking mane, so it seems fair to call them kings of the jungle. But the thing is, they don't
True.
actually live in the jungle. They live in
True.
grasslands of savanna with very few trees, or in the deserts. You may know that lions are expert hunters and can eat.
That part's cap. It's not easy. They do take down buffalo, but they usually will target like babies or elder buffalo who struggle to move as well as they once did. But if it was easy, then they would go after the biggest one every time, which is not what they do. And buffalo can actually be quite dangerous to lions. So that's cap, bro.
A single lion can't take down a mature buffalo.
Sorry that I keep pausing it, but I'm gonna let him explain everything before I say things because I'm getting too ahead of myself here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for over speaking.
Also, most of the time, it's the group of lionesses that do the hunting.
Yes.
Lions usually chill at home
True.
and wait for the food.
True.
And they say a group of lions is called pride. What a shame.
Well, the male lion will hunt, but very rarely, and it's only when the pride is struggling to get food, and they're like in desperate need of more help, essentially, or maybe they're going after a bigger prey like a giraffe or something. You know, then the male is more inclined to help out.
I would rather choose tigers as the kings of the jungle.
That
And
makes way more
talking about
sense.
tigers, if you remember this intro from MGM, yeah, that roar is a lie. This is actually the sound of a tiger.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good fun fact lie that I did not know. That's insane, actually. I hate that they did that. Surely they could have found a lion that made a similar noise. Why do they have to use a tiger?
Talking about sound, if you remember this sound from movies,
Eagle.
well, that sound is a lie. Bald eagle is the national bird of America. Those
Hoorah.
fierce eyes, majestic wings, and perfect dives. But when it opened its mouth, yeah, this.
Oh, no, that can't be really what it sounds like. It sounds like a seagull, bro. That is so lame. I mean, there's no way we're making that noise. Are you serious, eagle? What is the bird that makes the other noise?
That's not the sound of freedom and dominance. We Americans, being Americans, couldn't accept that pathetic squeak. So, Hollywood silently changed it to this sound.
That's way cooler.
This is actually the sound of a red-tailed hawk. If you have heard eagles carry small children, that's a lie. Eagles can't carry more than a few pounds. Bald eagles are not bald. They just have white hair. And if you have heard that eagles push their kids from the cliffs to force them to fly, that's a lie too.
Okay, I'll admit my bird knowledge is way down here. My knowledge on mammals is much higher. Birds down here. Cause I believed every single thing that this guy just said, and now he's saying that they're all lies. I thought that all of these were true.
In fact, parents encourage kids to fly, and the mother stays close to catch the kid if it starts to fall.
No way!
This
I
guy is
thought
a
all birds-
snake, and people believe these legless animals are smooth and slippery. Well, that's a lie. Snake's skin has a very dry texture, and usually is rough to the touch.
Okay, I knew that.
People believe that small snakes are more dangerous than adult ones. Since they can't control the amount of venom,
I have heard that before, actually. I have heard that.
deliver a high dose.
Yeah.
That's also a lie. Small ones have a very low amount of venom, and they can actually control the venom flow. So, adults are more dangerous. Many people believe that the rattlesnake's tail is like a maraca. Well, it has nothing inside, and it looks like this. These loosely stacked parts make that sound. If you think a snake is aggressive and will chase you and bite you,
That's cat.
that's not true.
Yeah.
Snakes are shy by nature and try to flee away from
That's the only one that I knew so far. Man, this video is now starting to expose me in my knowledge. I don't appreciate that. But I'll be vulnerable. I'll admit when I don't know certain things, and a lot of these things I didn't know. But that's the whole point of this video, is for all of us to learn and grow together.
Why would a few pound snake want to fight a 150-pound human? The biting is the last resort if it sees no other option. If it chases you, it's likely confused. It's just running away from you, without realizing that you're actually running in the front. Snakes don't have hypnotizing eyes. Cartoons created that myth. Snakes don't drink milk. In fact, they can't even digest it. This is a bat, and they rest hanging upside down. But if you believe that all bats hang upside down, that's a lie. There are 6 known bat species that actually rest in upright position. Yup, they have suction-type cups and rest inside funnel-type leaves. You can see the real footage here. Many people believe that bats are blind, since they have super echolocations and usually fly at night. People believe that they must be blind. Some bats do have poor vision, but most of them have excellent eyesight. And
Okay, my bat knowledge is worse than my bird knowledge. This is insane. My head is about to explode. He's just ripping these off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like before I can even process what he's saying. This is suction cup feet. Bats actually have great vision? What are we learning in school? What is school teaching us, bro? I swear, in school, the place where you're supposed to be learning things, they teach you that bats see with echolocation and that they're blind for the most part. But apparently they have great vision? What are we talking about?
many can even see UV light.
What?
So the idiom, as blind as bat, is a lie. I've already told you much about camels. Most of the people believe that camels are found only in desert or hot places.
I believe
and
that.
that's a lie.
What?
Bactrian camels are found in snowy areas.
What?
Many people believe that camels store water in their humps.
I used to. Recently, I learned that it's actually fat.
I was even told that if people get thirsty, they will cut the hump of the camel and drink that water.
Ew. It's
Well,
gross.
that's a lie. Camels actually store fat in their humps. That fat can be used as energy later. But they do store water in their bloodstream within blood plasma and RBC. That's the reason they don't get dehydrated easily. If you have heard that cows have 4 stomachs, well, that's a lie.
What? Is it 3 then, or like 6? I've heard so many times that they have multiple stomachs. There's no. If he says they have 1 stomach, dude, I'm taking my pants off. If that's the case, do not say it's only 1.
Animals like cows or goats have 4 compartments inside one stomach. Some people argue that, if there are 4 compartments, how is it wrong to say cows have 4 stomachs? Well, our heart has 4 compartments too. That doesn't mean we have 4 hearts. Talking about cows, we all have seen bullfights where bulls charge at red cloth. So people believe bulls hate red color. Well, I already told you in fact video that cows are red and green colorblind, so they don't see the red color. Bulls attack
the
the
moving
cloth
thing,
because
right?
it waves.
Yeah.
They see moving cloth as a threat.
What is the point of school? No, seriously. What are we supposed to believe anymore? Because 90% of these things is what we're taught in school. Only to learn that it's a lie? That makes me think, like, what else are we learning in school that's a lie that isn't said in this video? Does 2 + 2 actually equal 4? Now I don't know anything anymore.
They would attack green, blue, white, or black color cloth if it's waving. If the matador doesn't wave it, the bulls won't attack. Red color is used because it hides blood stains and looks more attractive than other colors. Talking about
Hey, yo. Where's he going with this?
webs to trap their prey. But if you think all the spiders make webs, you are falling for a lie. Spider
Okay, I knew
species
that.
like jumping spiders, wolf spiders, and tarantulas don't make webs. They just charge directly and kill insects.
Jumping spiders make webs. They just don't use the webs to trap their enemies and their prey. But they still make webs, and they live in the web, and then they just go out of the web to go hunt. But they still make webs to make a home.
Talking about insects, many people think that spiders are insects. Well, it's a lie. Spiders are arachnids, not insects, and there's a difference. People also believe that daddy long legs are the most venomous spiders. Well, that's a lie. First, they are not spiders. They are closer to scorpions than spiders.
That is insane to me, how that makes any sense at all. Who said that? How are you gonna say daddy long legs are not spiders, bro? Who came up with that rule? Why can't we just say it's like a weird type of spider? Like, that's like saying Adam isn't a human because he's different. Adam is still a human, he's just a different type of human. Like, he might be closer to a proboscis monkey, but he's still a human.
And the second, they don't have venom gland. But if you think this guy has daddy long legs,
All right,
then
that's
yeah,
creepy.
this is a spider. But its venom is harmless to humans.
You might have heard that all dinosaurs were wiped out 65 million years ago when a 15-kilometer wide asteroid crashed into Earth and caused
If this guy's about to tell me that there are still some dinos out there lingering, I'm gonna freak out.
a mass extinction event. But that is entirely false.
What?
One species of dinosaur, theropods, managed to survive.
What? Sorry for yelling. But actually, what are we talking? Are they still like what?
It's been a witness.
Nah, they're not still alive now, right? Something killed them. Please tell me that that thing is not still alive.
They had feathers and hollow bones, and most of them could fly, meaning they could rise above the blast and survive the aftermath. And now, many scientists believe that these theropod dinosaurs managed to evolve into birds. So, technically, dinosaurs are still alive and with us today. But that's not the only thing you were lied to about dinosaurs. From non-existent species to T-Rex's eyesight, there are many myths and misconceptions about the Mesozoic era.
Holy smokes, bro. Was I the only one that thought that the asteroid killed everything? Like everything? Maybe not like crocodiles, or maybe like snails. Because I thought it destroyed like all the plants because there was no more sun because all the dust. So all the plants died, which means all like the bugs and all them died, which means all the birds died. That's what I thought. That's what I was told. A minute into this video and my mind is already blown.
The craziest is that dinosaurs were all green, scary monsters. In fact, many of them likely had feathers. Theropods would have had feathers for a variety of reasons, from giving them warmth to helping some aviation-based dinos to fly. And that's not all. Dinosaurs were a variety of colors. Yeah, some fossils have preserved pigments,
Whoa.
showing that not all dinosaurs were brown, black, or green. They may have had many vibrant colors. Some of them may even have had specific camouflage, depending on their environment. And they weren't all scaly and slimy either. Different dino species would have
that's actually kind of
different
cute.
textures to their
Does make me think actually today, like animals are generally very cute. Even like the scary ones, like a lion for example, or a bear. Even though they are very dangerous, they're still kind of adorable. Like why would that be different millions of years ago? Like sure, a T-Rex might be very dangerous, but maybe it was low-key adorable too.
Now, when you think of dinosaurs, you probably think that they were all massive. The T-Rex had a length of 12 meters, and the long-necked Brachiosaurus was up to 13 meters tall. But that wasn't the case for all dinosaurs. Contrary to popular belief, not all dinosaurs were giants. In fact, many of them were pretty small. Some were even the size of birds that we have today. Haha, look at that one.
That one's pretty cute.
One small dinosaur was the Microraptor.
It's got an afro.
little guy-
Okay, I mean that one I didn't technically know, but I feel like that one's not too crazy. Like yeah, there were some small dinos out there. Just like other small animals. Like there's squirrels, there's rats, there's a bunch of little small animals out there, so that's not too much of a surprise.
Are typically portrayed as slow-moving, cold-blooded reptiles, but this isn't totally accurate. Scientists have recently discovered that dinosaurs weren't all cold-blooded like we thought. But that doesn't mean that they were all warm-blooded. It's a bit more complicated. Dinosaurs may have had a metabolic system known as mesothermic. This means they were somewhere between cold and warm-blooded. Being mesothermic allows animals to generate some internal heat, just not as much as a warm-blooded animal would. Dinosaurs with feathers may have been warm-blooded. Feathers usually suggest warm-blooded. Now, of course, there were thousands of species of dinosaurs, so sure, many of them may have been cold-blooded, but there were also warm-blooded and mesothermic dinosaurs. The Brontosaurus.
I've never even heard of that before. I thought you either had to be cold-blooded or warm-blooded. Doesn't matter if a giant asteroid comes and clobbers the world. You could have gold for blood and you're dead.
Movies like Jurassic Park often show the Tyrannosaurus Rex as one of the most deadly predators, destroying everything in its path. The only catch? They can only see prey if it moves. Yeah, that's also completely
Yeah, how silly is that?
To make the T-Rex even more terrifying, they had incredible vision and were easily able to see prey that stood still.
See, like, that is one of the things where I'm like, how could you possibly know that? I feel like something could come out 5-10 years from now that disproves that entirely.
Since the T-Rex's eyes were positioned forward on its head, it had binocular vision. It could easily judge distances and see objects in 3 dimensions, similar to how humans see. Research suggests that the T-Rex might have had better eyesight than modern-day birds because it had such large optic nerves.
Okay, the optic nerves part, fair enough. But I've had many dogs, and I've played with many dogs in my life. Some of those things are like blind, bro, I swear. You could do this, you could go, hoobala, hoobala, woobala. They don't see you because it's a dog. They got tiny pinball brains, but they have 2 eyes in the front of their face, and they can't see that well. And that's how a lot of animals are. And I'm not saying that T-Rexes for sure can't see well, but I'm also like, how do you know 100 million trillion % that this thing had better eyes than birds today? And you're telling me that's better vision than an eagle? I don't know about all that, but I'll keep it in mind. You know, I'm not saying it's not true, I'm just hesitant to agree with everything that I see, that's all.
It's easy to forget, but dinosaurs didn't all live simultaneously. The Mesozoic era, also known as the Age of Dinosaurs, spanned over 180 million years. There were 3 distinct periods: Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. And within these 3 periods, different species were unique to the specific era.
Okay, I feel like a big fat emphasis on the big and fat idiot. Not too much emphasis on the idiot though. Didn't know that. I knew that there were different like eras, I guess, but I didn't realize like there was completely, entirely new, unique groups of dinosaurs in each. Like I've heard of like the Mesozoic era and like the Jurassic era, whatever, and the hoobly blobbly. But I thought it was just like, I don't know, different times. I didn't necessarily know that it meant entirely different dinosaurs. That's what I'm trying to say.
Within 180 million years, some dinosaurs evolved into new forms, and some species...
Oh my god! Hello.
Some of the most iconic dinosaurs, like the Stegosaurus and T-Rex, never actually coexisted. They lived...
What? The Stego and the T-Rex never coexisted? Okay, now my whole life is a lie. I swear to God, my whole life is a lie. Bro, I love this video, don't get me wrong. I love this video, but I also hate this video because it's like, I feel like, is the sky even blue? Is the sky even blue anymore?
in entirely different time periods, tens of millions of years apart. Also, the T-Rex is often shown as a Godzilla-like creature that can stand upright, but
It had feathers.
how accurate is this?
I know this one.
Well, turns out it's a total misconception.
It had feathers.
Based on early artists' renderings. Paleontologists have since found that the T-Rex had a more horizontal posture. Its tail was held up off the ground, and its body was balanced over the hips. The upright stance of the T-Rex that we typically see is fun for Hollywood, but it would be unstable and impractical for the dinosaur to move around freely.
Wouldn't he have a lot of lumbar problems? Like lower back pain? This is how you walk all the time. You know, like that would hurt my back after a while. And on top of that, how fast can you even be like this? Like you can't run that fast this way. How fast were T-Rex? Were they fast? No way they were that fast. They got like a hunchback.
Move around freely. When fossils are dug up, the shrink wrap method is often used to portray how the dinosaurs looked. This is where the skin and features are drawn tightly against the skeleton. The technique has led to some iconic dinosaur portrayals, but is incredibly inaccurate when it
What does he mean? Like, is he about to say that they had loose skin and that their skin was falling off their body? I'm scared for what this dude's about to say now.
comes to how these dinosaurs actually looked. The problem is that it doesn't account for any muscles, fat, or any other soft tissues that the dinosaur had.
I see, okay.
Luckily, this method is considered outdated. Paleontologists now account for the muscles and the fat that the dinosaurs were likely packing on. They make comparisons with modern animals to find where muscle would typically be attached to the bone. This has led to a more realistic appearance for the dinosaurs.
So they're even bigger than what they originally thought, really. Because I think what he's saying is like they just wrapped the skin around the bones of the skeletons that they had and didn't account for muscle and fat. But today, like, take Chris Bumstead, for example.
Big boy.
If you only look at his skeletal structure, he would be way skinnier. He would literally be skin and bones.
Paleontologists have identified over 1,000 different species of dinosaurs, but there are tons more left to discover. Literally.
Is that a Carno?
Numbers vary, but some research suggests we've only found about 30% of dinosaur species.
Give me a hug!
And some we may never find.
Bring it
due to
in!
Gaps in the fossil record. Depending on where a species lived, they may have never been fossilized due to their environment. But many more will be discovered. On average, paleontologists discover about 50 new dinosaur species every year.
Oh my god! 50 a year? That's crazy! And that also kind of goes back to my old point, which is like, we still don't know jank squat about dinosaurs. First of all, I'm sure a lot of the dinosaurs, probably like 95% of them, didn't even fossilize to the point where we will ever even be able to find them at all. Which means that we will never know many of the different species that there were, leaving out a ridiculous amount of information that we will ever know about dinosaurs. So like everything that we know today is probably realistically only like 0.5% of all of the info that was of the things that actually happened back then. And we'll never get to know all of those other things.
Dinosaurs probably didn't sound anything like this. In fact,
more of a
we have no idea what they sounded like. Fossilization rarely preserves the soft tissues like vocal cords, and that makes it challenging for paleontologists to determine the exact sounds dinosaurs made.
Okay, that dino died in a very zesty way. Not to like make fun of you, because like, you know, you're dead and everything, and it's not cool to make fun of the dead, but that's a crazy way to die.
Sounds dinosaurs made, but it's unlikely they made these massive roars. Scientists can make an educated guess that dinos sounded closer to birds and crocodiles, since they're the closest living relatives of dinosaurs. Researchers have created models based on fossilized skulls. The models suggest that the dinosaurs may have made low-frequency rumbles or bird-like calls.
Sounds like he's laughing.
Regardless of what they sounded like exactly, the scientific community agrees that they didn't sound like this.
What if they could just like talk, like they had their own language? What's up, Pat? What's up, Chow? How you doing today? Good. I think I'm gonna go out on a little hunting mission. Think I'm gonna hunt some parasaurs. I'm feeling parasaur for lunch. What do you think?
So, is it possible that one day we'll be able to clone dinosaur DNA and build our very own Jurassic Park? Well, as cool as that may be, it's never gonna happen.
I don't know,
Since
bro.
DNA degrades over time, the chance of finding intact dino DNA is basically zero.
Nice songs, you loser. I may have spoken too soon. Turns out almost everything you think you know about dinosaurs is wrong.
Okay.
Everybody loves to joke about how T-Rex had weak, puny arms. But what we found is that these things were ridiculously ripped. Sure, they were only 3 feet long, roughly the size of your arm, but they were still packed with enough muscle to curl over 400 pounds.
Okay, but what would be the use of that, even if they were very strong? Because the T-Rex's jaw muscles and 6-inch canines would do way more damage than these little teeny tiny arms here. I feel like we all kind of knew this already.
So obviously, these Samsolic looking arms weren't useless. But that's just one of the many dinosaur lies you probably still believe. And in this video, I'm gonna go over 13 of the biggest, And this next one is
shoot.
one you've probably fallen for.
It's Jar Jar! It's Jar Jar Binks! That's a parasaur. Look, I've been playing a little bit of Ark recently, and that is my beloved parasaur, Jar Jar Binks. Me and him are like this.
You ever go on TikTok and see something about how Spinosaurus sounded like this? So that's not how they sounded at all, actually, because that's just a loon call slowed down. In fact, every single dinosaur noise you hear is total BS. Truth is, we have no idea what most dinosaurs sounded like. Except one, Parasaurolophus.
I actually did know about this though, because all we really know about dinosaurs is what was fossilized, which is mostly their bones. And vocal cords don't fossilize very well at all. So scientists don't really have any access to vocal cords of dinosaurs, making it impossible to know what they really sounded like. However, I do want to believe that they sound the way that they do in Jurassic Park because they sound really cool.
You see that giant crest sticking out of its skull? Well, it was filled with tubes and airways. So scientists 3D modeled it,
Circle.
pushed air through it, and it sounded like this.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, we're 99% sure this dinosaur sounded like an air horn.
Why is he making it sound like that's not cool? That is so cool. Are you kidding me? Like, there's no animal today that sounds like that, unless it's like a whale or something. But no land animal that sounds like that. Let me think. Maybe like a buffalo? Bro, that is so cool.
Pretty cool nonetheless.
Yeah, okay, there we go. All right, now we're on the same page.
Again, that's not the only lie you've been told by media.
Don't move. You can't see us if we don't move.
No, this one has to be true. This one has to be true. If this one's wrong, my entire life is a lie. That's no. Everyone knows that T-Rexes can't see if you don't move. That's just like every 2-year-old knows that. It's like human instinct to know that fact. Don't tell me that's not true. Don't tell me that's not true.
It's just totally wrong, too.
Okay, everyone relax. Everyone calm down. What? Are you gonna tell me that Santa's not real next? Is that what you're about to tell me? If that's what he's about to tell me, I'm gonna freak out.
T-Rex had the biggest eyes of any land predator. And I know size isn't everything. At least, that's what I tell myself. Though for T-Rex, it did actually make a difference. Its vision was estimated to be up to 13 times sharper than yours. With forward-facing eyes and incredible depth perception, if you were in front of it, even from miles away, it was going to see you.
Now, I will say, this actually is believable because apparently dinosaurs and birds are like this. Like their DNA is very similar, meaning like dinosaurs may have been a form of birds. And birds have fantastic vision. Actually, like the best vision of any species in the planet because they're way up in the sky, yet they can see a little rat running in the fields. So if they're related to birds, it does make sense that they would also have really good vision. It's kind of like how I'm second cousins of Chris Bumstead. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
But the real question is, what would you see if you were looking back? Because when most people picture a dinosaur, they think of something scaly like a crocodile. Except crocodiles aren't even that closely related. Their actual closest relatives are birds.
Editor, put a mic in my hand right now. Put a mic in my hand. That's a mic drop moment. If you put something else in my hand, that's not cool. That's not cool.
Because dinosaurs never really went extinct. Only the ones that couldn't fly did. So get that myth out of here. And weird fact, but that does technically mean that birds are reptiles. So then, if all birds are dinosaurs, does that mean all dinosaurs look like birds? No. Birds evolved from theropods. But that's just one of 3 branches on the dinosaur family tree, which means while some dinosaurs definitely look like birds, which we could see preserved in fossils and even trapped in amber, we also know others look totally different. Sauropods probably didn't have feathers. T-Rex had scales over most, if not all of its body, but it gets even weirder. Some species, like ceratopsians, had quill-like structures on their tails. So the whole feathers versus scales debate, just throw it out the window. But you know what wouldn't fit through a window? A dinosaur. Because they're all massive, right? Not exactly.
Ooh, one fun fact that I know is raptors are actually really tiny. I think in the Jurassic Park universe, they made the raptors way bigger than they actually are. I think that's a thing. I think that's a thing, guys. If that's what he's about to say, oh my god. I think that me and Jay just became best friends.
The smallest dinosaur we've ever found is a bee hummingbird, which is like 2 inches long. Though, if we're talking non-avian, you got stuff like Microraptor, about the size of a crow, and barely
Michael Jordan or me? Michael Jordan or me? I don't know, but I'm coming for that GOAT throne. I told you guys I'm a dinosaur master, bro. I literally know every single thing about dinosaurs. It's crazy.
a couple pounds. We got really lucky with Microraptor too. It lived in the perfect environment to fossilize.
How do they know it's not a baby? What if that's just a baby raptor? Like, they're calling it a Microraptor, but like, how could that just be a baby of a raptor and then it's not a Microraptor, it's a baby raptor? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's not a different species. It's just a baby.
And some are so well preserved, we even know its feathers were black, and if the
Whoa.
light hit it just right, they'd shimmer blue and green.
Whoa.
And this thing lived over 100 million years ago. But here's the thing.
That is cool.
Most dinosaurs didn't live in conditions like that. Now, say you've got some pinky-sized bone from some tiny dinosaur, and an 8-foot femur from an Argentinosaurus. Which one's more likely to survive 70 million years underground? Exactly. That's preservation bias. Big bones fossilize better, so we find them more.
What is that? That's like an 8-foot bone. Oh my God. That is like Shaquille O'Neal as a bone, but it's one bone. Also, how is there just one bone there? Like, where's the rest of the bones? That's one thing I never really understood from archaeology. Like, let's just suppose that's his femur. Where's the rest of him? Maybe they dug them all out. I do see some holes at the top there and on the right. So maybe they dug out all the bones and this is the last one. But like, if you find one bone, surely you find all the rest of the bones, right? Why would there just be a random femur right there? There is a theory out there that all dino bones are fake. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm just saying, I've heard that dino bones are fake and they are being used for money to make museums and to make stories about them, and they're not actually real. I don't believe that though. Just saying. I do believe in dinosaurs.
But that also means we're probably underestimating how many small dinosaurs there really were. And considering we've probably found less than 1% of all dinosaur species, who knows what else is still out there.
That's actually a really great point that for whatever reason, I never thought of until this instant right now. If you think about it, we still have only explored like 4 or 5% of our oceans. And the ocean is much easier to go up and down and look into and all that than digging into the Earth's surface. So obviously I know there's way more ocean than land, but it's also like 1 trillion times harder to excavate the land than it is to excavate water. So that's a fantastic point in that there's still probably like 1 million different species that we have never even discovered yet, which means that even though we think that the Tyrannosaurus Rex may have been like the alpha dog back in the day, there's a good likelihood that that's not even true and that there were other species out there that were way stronger than T-Rexes.
Even so, dinosaur fossils are a lot less rare than most people think, as long as you're in the right place. This is the Hell Creek Formation, and if you know what you're looking for, you can literally walk for a few minutes and find a fossil.
Whoa.
How complete they are, that's a different story. When your average dinosaur dies, it probably gets scavenged, so finding one that didn't get eaten, but also got perfectly buried, and then stayed intact while the Earth shifted for millions of years, that's the miracle part.
Okay, when I asked the question about why some archaeologists only find like 1 bone at a time, there we go. That answers my question. That actually, yeah, that answered my question very well, because dinos eat dinos. Pretty simple. Pretty simple concept. Can't believe I didn't think of that. I feel like an idiot now. I feel shame. I feel stupid. I feel embarrassed.
Something you might not realize is even with the dinosaur fossils we do have, they're embarrassingly incomplete. I mean, for God's sake, I made an entire video about the life of Quetzalcoatlus, and all we have is a single arm bone.
That surely is not true. That the only evidence they have of that thing existing at all is 1 arm bone, yet they were able to make up the entire rest of the bird or dino, whatever you want to call it. That's crazy. That's crazy.
If you were listening closely there, I just made the cardinal sin of paleontology, thinking every prehistoric animal was a dinosaur. However, a lot of those animals weren't dinosaurs at all. Let's start with the ocean. Ichthyosaurs, plesiosaurs, mosasaurs. Not dinosaurs. They're part of their own weird aquatic branches on the reptilian family tree. Same with the ones in the sky. You've probably heard of the word pterodactyl, but that's actually not the right name. That's just one species of a much bigger group called pterosaurs, and they were flying reptiles, not dinosaurs. Speaking of animals that aren't dinosaurs, let's talk mammals. You always hear that mammals back then were small, helpless, and lived in holes in the ground.
Okay, here's the thing about referring to those types of animals as dinosaurs, though. I think we all kind of like knew that. Like, we knew that pterodactyls are maybe not technically a dinosaur, or we knew that the dinosaurs that lived in the water weren't technically dinosaurs. Like, we all kind of know that. But when you refer to something as a dinosaur, it's more than just the species of a dinosaur. It's referring to like the time period.
But some of them actually ate the dinosaurs. This is Rapanomamus, a badger-sized mammal that we know for a fact had a taste for dino meat.
How could you
Because one
possibly know
fossil was
that?
found with a baby Psittacosaurus in its stomach. And this
Okay, that
wasn't
answers
just
my
a
question.
one-time thing. In another fossil, it straight up mid-attack latched onto another Psittacosaurus's rib cage. So, some mammals were already out here devouring dinosaurs long before we turned them into nuggets.
Who named a dinosaur Psittaco, by the way? Psittacosaurus. Did someone from the Taco Bell find this thing? Psittacosaurus. Great branding, honestly. You know, pretty good idea. If I were to ever find a unique dinosaur and I got to name it, I would name it the Pterosaurus. It's pretty fun to say. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do it. Or the Pterosaurus will come get you. And you don't want it to come get you.
But that doesn't mean dinosaurs were somehow losing. There's this idea that mammals took over because dinosaurs were slow or outdated. That couldn't be more wrong. Dinosaurs were some of the most well-adapted animals to ever live, ruling the earth for over 165 million years, nearly 3 times longer than mammals have. In fact, they were around so long that we live closer to T-Rex than T-Rex did to Stegosaurus. So, no.
That's crazy.
Most of your favorite animals, sadly, wouldn't have met, unless they tripped over each other's fossils. And yes, dinosaurs were actually more advanced in a lot of ways, especially their breathing. While mammals breathe in and out through the same lungs, dinosaurs and modern birds have a totally different setup. They have air sacs spread throughout their bodies, which keeps fresh oxygen flowing through their lungs even while exhaling. In fact, dinosaurs' over-specialization may have been part of what led to their downfall, while our smaller, more adaptable generalist ancestors were able to cling on. And yet, despite all their advantages, their entire existence supposedly ended in a single afternoon. An asteroid hits Earth, and boom, dinosaurs gone. Well, we already know that's at least a little wrong, because, and even for the non-avian ones, they didn't vanish overnight. It might have taken decades, maybe even thousands of years for the last of them to die out. Look at the mammoths of Wrangel Island. Most mammoths went extinct around 10 to 14,000 years ago, but a small group survived in isolation until just 4,000 years ago. Around the same time, the pyramids were being built.
Whoa.
This same thing could have happened with a few dinosaur species.
That's true, because like the asteroid, okay, right, here's Earth right there. The asteroid comes in, boom, hits this side of Earth, right? And I get like it makes debris and clouds and all that all the way over to the other side of Earth over here, but it can't be that much. Like, how much debris gets all the way to this side, you know? So I feel like the dinos that were on the complete opposite side of the asteroid, they could have survived, you know, a little longer than a couple years, right?
Holding on in small pockets before eventually disappearing from genetic collapse, bad luck, or another disaster. But what's even stranger is that despite how it sounds, this wasn't even the worst extinction Earth's ever gone through. Not by a long shot. There was one even earlier that made the asteroid look tame.
Really?
And it nearly wiped out everything. And if you want to learn about that, go watch this video.
Holy cow, I want to watch that video really bad. But to be honest, even a dino expert such as myself did learn a couple of things today. And if you did as well, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and click on this video right here for more.